मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody. Today we'll have overview of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so this basically it will be like a review or no, like if you hear it in an overview manner, you'll be able to retain it more much better. So, and also this session may go a little longer. It may not be able to end in half an hour. So anybody wants to drop, they can drop, but no, like anybody want to leave continue, they can continue either. So Srimad Bhagavatam starts with it has this is the first thing that we have to do when starting Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to pay obeisance to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which Vyasdeva does, like saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then in this overview, we will be saying that the chronology and the flow expenses of depth, links, and context, and repetition of emphasis, and the different characters that are involved in Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the concepts that are involved in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the overview of Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. It has three parts. First two parts include a prelude to Srimad Bhagavatam, which includes the sages of Naimisharanya, intending to perform 1,000-year sacrifice. They assemble, but they are not sure if they will get the results of sacrifice or not. So that's why they request Sutta Goswami, who was the disciple of Sukadeva Goswami, to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. And they first, initially they ask 6 questions with which the conversation starts. So what are the 6 questions? What is the highest good one has to achieve in the human form of life? What is the essence of all the scriptures? What is the purpose of Krishna's appearance and Purusha avatars? Like what are different kinds of Purusha avatars and different kinds of Leela avatars? And where did religion take shelter after Krishna's disappearance? These are the 6 questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. And Sutta Goswami, in order to explain that, he starts with the answering about Vyasadeva and all those things, and which will continue until 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So until 19th chapter, it will mainly deal with the history of Srimad Bhagavatam, like what are the different circumstances which led to the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also the life of Maharaj Parikshit, means what led Maharaj Parikshit to take the to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and not like he decided to fast until death. So see, then we'll go chapter by chapter now. So first chapter is the questions messages. Okay, in this chapter, the subject matters of the what is the in the it is said that the first 3 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam actually sets the mood of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first verse, Janmadya Sayatonmaya Ditharasas Chatve Savignaswarat Tene Brahma Hrudayadi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Surayat Tejo Varimudamyata Vinimayo Yatra Trishargo Mrisha Damna Svena Sadanirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So Vyasadeva prays as offers respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is who says who is the primal cause of all causes, who is all cognizant, he knows everything, who is independent, who is an enlightener, bewildered, and even the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they bewilder even the demigods. And he is the and he is actually He is the one who actually imparted the knowledge of the Vedas in the heart of Brahmaji in the beginning of creation. And he says that Lord stays in his abode, but at the same time, he is always closer to the living entities also. Okay. And it is also said that Srimad Bhagavatam rejects all the cheating religions and propounds the highest truth, understandable by the non-envious. It is not understandable by non-envious. Means what is the qualification required to understand Srimad Bhagavatam is they should not be envious. Means what is the main difference between devotees and non-devotees? The devotees are non-envious of anybody. Like if you are envious of anybody, we are envious of the Lord, because the potency, all strength, all fame, all power, all wealth is coming from Supreme Lord only. Whatever we see outside is the energy of the Supreme Lord only. So they are non-envious, and they are not envious towards Krishna also. They are devotees of Krishna. So only that kind of people can release Srimad Bhagavatam much better. So, and Vyasdeva says that Srimad Bhagavatam in itself is sufficient for self-realization or God realization. And when one reads Srimad Bhagavatam and completes reading Srimad Bhagavatam, the personality of Godhead is established within one's heart. Okay, and then he says here the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. He says it is the I will say the verse Nigama Kalpataro Galitam Phalam Sukhamukadam Vrita Drava Samyutam Pivata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. So it is the taste of Srimad Bhagavatam is explained as it is the most ripened fruit of the Vedic literature, and which is also tasted by the Sukadeva Goswami. Sukha means the parrot. The fruit, when is tasted by a parrot, it is when a fruit is tasted by the parrot, it means the indication is it is very sweet. Like the parrots will have that ability to see the judge the fruit properly. So, and after offering like these three verses, which are quoted by Srila Vyasdeva, they explain the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he sets on the sets into the Srimad Bhagavatam. He explains about how the sages in the Naimisharanya, they see the Kali Yuga coming. They see the symptoms of Kali Yuga, and they wanted to do something good for the mankind moving forward. So what they decided is they wanted to perform 1,000 years sacrifice, because as Kali Yuga progressed, nobody will have the qualification to perform any sacrifices. So these sages of Naimisharanya, they, in order to being the well-wishers of all the human beings, they started performing 1,000 year sacrifice. And every day after performing sacrifice, every day evening, they used to sit together and they used to think, is this sacrifice is going to give the results or not? Like that they used to think. And they decided to listen Srimad Bhagavatam. And they they were confident that even if the sacrifice will not give the result, but Srimad Bhagavatam will ultimately give the results. So they selected Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami, Suta Goswami as the reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam. They made them sit Suta Goswami on Vyasasan, and they asked the different questions. They offer respect to Suta Goswami, and then they glorify the quality of Suta Goswami. He says, you are free from vices, and you are explained well and well read, and you are pure, and you are very submissive to your guru. So they glorified Suta Goswami, and then they asked 6 questions. And they said, no, like in Kali Yuga, people are Prayanal Payusha Sabya Karao Asmin Yugajana Manda Sumanda Madayo Manda Bhagyan Payusha. Prayanal Payusha Sabya means they are short lived. Kalavasmin means like they always quarrel for very petty things. And Mandamati means they are dull-headed, and Mandabhagya means very unfortunate. So such kind of people cannot do anything on the level of self-realization. Self-realization involves a lot of tapasya. But Kali Yuga people, fortunately, they don't have that much lifespan. They don't have that much mental or physical capabilities. Then what is the, how can they get, how can they uh, achieve the sole purpose of human form of life? What is the sole purpose of human form of life? The only purpose of human form of life is self-realization, realizing that who we are, who we really are, and what is our position, and where we belongs to. So, because if other than self-realization, if you take anything else as the purpose of human form of life, it is only a mistake. Why? Because all other pleasures are available in all other incarnations, all other lives. Like in the animal kingdom, in some devata. Sometimes we took birth as demons. Sometimes we took birth as animals, and trees. So all these what the pleasures, the so-called pleasures of this material world are eating, sleeping, mating, defending. All these pleasures are available in any form of life, but especially in the human form of life, only thing that is possible, that is additionally possible in human form of life, is that we can be able to think, we can be able to reason, and so we have that ability to to put effort and knowing who are we, why are we here, why am I suffering, what is the goal of my life, where am I going, where am I coming from, where am I going. That kind of questions can be asked only in the human form of life. But if this Kali Yuga people, they don't have this, any of this ability. For that, no, for one to realize self, they have to do meditation, they have to read Vedas. The process of self-realization can be performed through Ashtanga Yoga, through Karma Yoga, through Jnana Yoga, and through Bhakti Yoga. And none of the like every process demands a lot of attention, dedication, and continuous and uninterrupted effort to realize oneself, and which is not possible for the people of the Kali Yuga. And they say, now you tell us what is the ultimate good one has to achieve in this human form of life, and what is the essence of all scriptures, and what is the purpose of Krishna's appearance. And you can explain about different his Purusha Avataras. Purusha Avataras means the Avataras meant for maintenance. And Leela Avataras means Avataras meant for Avataras meant for Avataras meant for to do some Leela, okay? Leela means like for the pleasure of devotees and for the Lord performs some activities, okay? And also they ask the question like who does the Dharma took shelter after the departure of after Lord Krishna left the planet. You're able to follow, right? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So what is the purpose? Why they have to ask? Why they ask these questions is they out of compassion and out of eagerness to hear and faith in holy name, and faith in holy name and devotees, and their knowledge, whatever the knowledge they have acquired, as a conclusive, like if somebody going through some problems, just a minute. if people in general are going through some problem, and if we know the solution, we try to discuss about it. So due to their knowledge, they wanted to discuss about the topics related to Srimad Bhagavatam. And then that is the end of the first chapter. In the second chapter, Sutta Goswami was perfectly satisfied by their questions. He congratulates them. And Sutta Goswami replies, and he pays obeisances unto Sukadeva Goswami, who was his guru. So and then he says about he pays obeisances to Vyasadeva, and then he pays obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Saraswati Devi, and then he states these verses. What is the ultimate goal of human population? Savai pumso parodharma haito bhakti radokshade haitukiya pratikata yayatma suprasidate. So the supreme occupation of all humanity is to perform unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion service to the Lord. And Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatya Subhairagyam Jnanam Chayat Haitikim, means when one performs the devotion service unto the Lord, it will actually automatically generate the knowledge and detachment. What is the purpose of knowledge? To know what is real and what is unreal. What is good and what is bad. What has to be done, what not has to be done. That is for knowledge, and detachment for to get out of the conditionings of the life. Due to attachment only, we are actually accustomed to a lot of sense gratification. So when we are detached from this worldly things, then we focus on the ultimate thing. So bhakti unto the Supreme Lord will give both knowledge and detachment, which is required for self-realization. They don't have to, like unless one develops detachment, you cannot endure in the path of self-realization. And unless one have proper knowledge, one cannot maintain that detachment. Okay. And then even Varnashram Dharma. Varnashram Dharma is like we know that there are 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. What is the goal of Varnashram Dharma is Dharmasvanastita Pumsa Visvakshena Katasuya Notpadayit Itiratim Shamayevahi Kevalam. If the Varnashram duties, Varnashram duties are whatever the duties that we are doing are not increasing our desire to release the Krishna Katha, Vishwaksena Katha Suya, then that kind of all our endeavors are only used as labor. Yes. If so our all our activities are to be centered around knowing about the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So, and we have to increase, because unless we start hearing again and again, we can't release the topic. For example, see, if somebody don't have the habit of reading newspapers, in the beginning he may have to compel himself to read something. Then after reading for a few days, he developed taste in that, and then he automatically start reading. It is true with everything, even learning music, even reading shastras, even hearing Krishna Katha, everything starts with the taste. So this rati means this taste for Krishna Katha should increase through the performance of one's Varnashram system. So when will that happen? When we perform all our activities in Bhakti Yoga as a service to Krishna, then we will be able to increase our taste. Yes, Mataji, Subha Mataji, you have any question? Subha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, Prabhu. Did she raise a hand or how? No, she's asking.
Yeah, I think maybe accidentally she might have raised her hand.
So then he explains about the after saying all these things, then Sutta Goswami explains about what is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. Means the Tattvavadis, the great learned scholarly people, they say that this Bhagavan realization and the realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can happen in three ways. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman is realized by the Jnanis, and Paramatma is realized by Paramatma is realized by the Ashtanga yogis, and Bhagavan realization happens in Bhakti for Bhakti yogis. Just a minute.
Is Paramatma by Ashtanga yogis and Bhagavan by
Devotees.
devotees. Okay, thank
you. Yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be realized by three ways: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Okay, and as I said, why yeah, as I said, why Brahman? Because these Jnanis who read Vedas and Vedangas and Upanishads, they see that Lord is all pervasive, and they will have that. They can have that relation. The Ashtanga yogis, they do intense meditation, and they can see the Supreme Personality of God residing within their heart. And Bhagavan, he only the devotees who perform the loving devotional service. And the class. Only the devotees of the Lord, only devotees can realize the Bhagavan feature of the Lord. Okay, like with loving devotion service. Because as I said previously, right, during our sessions, like if somebody comes to our home, if he's totally a stranger, what will you do to them? We'll just see, like we go out, we talk to them at the gate and send him from the gate only. And if he's a little acquainted person, then he's like we know him little bit, like he's a a colleague or somebody, we may actually bring him into our home, into the living room. But if he's somebody is very dear, like our parents and or spouse or our children, then we give full access to our home. Even they can open anything, they can go to any room any way. Means in the same way, as we progress in our spiritual realization, as we progress, as we become non-envious of Krishna, or as we become dear to Krishna through his serving his devotees, serving the Krishna, serving spiritual master, Krishna also give different levels. First of all, we may realize Brahman means all pervasiveness of the Krishna, and we may able to see Krishna within the heart. And when we become pure devotees of Krishna, Krishna will give himself to us. So that is the power of the devotional service to Krishna, the bhakti of Krishna. So then Sutta Goswami explains the stages of bhakti. It all starts with serving the devotee, Shraddha, and then affinity to hear through sadhu sangha, and then bhajana kriya means when we start chanting, even though it is not very tasteful, it will cleanse our heart. And then after bhajana kriya, we start anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti means in the bhajana kriya we become attached to the process, and then in the anartha nivritti process, all the conditionings, all the negativity, all the anarthas that are actually stopping us from realizing Krishna will be cleansed one after another. So after that, steadiness is developed in the process through Nishtha. Effect of lower modes will disappear. What are the lower modes? Tamogun and Rajogun, and Sattvagun also to some extent, but Tamogun, Rajogun means Tamogun means too much of laziness, violence, harshness, that will go off, and Rajogun means too much of endeavor. I want to perform, I want to do this. So much of enduring mentality. They will be materially so much motivated, they don't want to take up the spirituality anymore. The person who is very much motivated materially will lose the interest on the spiritual life. They lose. So, but as he takes the association of devotees, and as he hears from them, and as he maintains steadiness over a period of time, he will realize that there is nothing to be achieved in the material world. Everything is there in Krishna consciousness only. So that's why the effect of lower modes will disappear, and they are established in the goodness, happy, and they develop the taste for Krishna conscious activities, chanting the holy name, associating with the devotees, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Krishna Katha. That taste will develop. So once when develop ruchi, then their mind enlivened by devotional service means they develop different realization, newer realizations. If you see the sages or devotees, they don't go different places just like the materialists. They work very hard throughout the week, and as soon as they get some off, they have to go somewhere, otherwise they cannot handle the stress. But when it comes to devotees or sages, they sit in one corner of the temple, just they are happy reading, chanting the holy name of Krishna, and then preaching about Krishna, and means they are satisfied just by the process of devotional service. So that is the level of asakti. Like now, see, everybody is after that peace of mind and happiness only. That happiness, materialists actually try to get it from externally, but the devotees get that internally. And then after the stage of asakti, one reaches the stage of bhava. Bhava means gains positive scientific knowledge of personality of Godhead in the process of liberation. He will be in the liberated state, means he will develop full emotions. Everything that you do for, as soon as you see Krishna, he will develop so much of emotions, and he will be full of ecstatic symptoms he will develop. And after beyond that point, he reaches to the stage of prema. Prema means like a knot of the heart pierce, means the hridaya gandhi, means the knot in the heart, which is actually connected to these modes, and then misgivings, all the anarthas will be cut, and you will become a pure devotee in that stage. And a person only who is these anarthas, this lust, greed, anger, and all those things, that will we can get rid of all these things only when we reach the level of prema. So anybody who is to the level of bhava, there is a chance for them to fall down again if they are not careful. If they sorry, if they do any offenses or anything, or getting attracted to some sense gratification activities, they may fall down again into the material entanglement. But a person who is on the level of prema will never fall down. So that is a perfectional stage that a bhakti yogi aspires to achieve. So Sutta Goswami explains all these things. And then he explains about the glories of bhakti. It's like Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the ultimate goal of life. Vasudeva Paragati, Vasudeva Paradharma means everything has to be done for achieving the Vasudeva. That is the goal of life. Just a minute. So then he started about explaining about the how Krishna is the source of all incarnations, because the sages asked about the different Purushatars and Lilavataras. In this chapter, in the third chapter, he describes about the 22 incarnations of Purushatars. He explains about how what is the role of Purushatars. They are for maintenance of the material affairs, just like the president is there, he'll have senators and councillors in for his governing. Just like in India, the prime minister will have different ministers and MLAs and MPs, and then different departments working under him. The same way, Lord also expands himself for the maintenance of this material world. And for in order to re-establish dharma, yada yada hi dharmastha glanir bhavati bharata abhidhanama dharmastha tadatmanam srijamyaham. He himself expands into different incarnations. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said 22 incarnations of Srimad Bhagavatam are described. So here Sutta Goswami briefly gives the names of the different incarnations. Like he starts with the boar incarnation, the 4 Kumaras, Narada and Naranarayan Rishi, and Kapila and Avaduta, who is Dattatreya, and then Rishabhadev, Prithu Maharaj, and then Matsya Avatar. He also explains about Kurma Avatar and Mohini Avatar, Dhanvantari, and Vaman Dev, Narsinga Dev, Parshuram, and Vyasadev, and Krishna and Balram, and Ramchandra, and Buddha and Kalki. There are different incarnations which Sutta Goswami explains. But what at the end he says, there are unlimited incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are as number of incarnations as there are in the number of waves on the ocean surface. So means like only why these 22 are prominent is they are actually scheduled incarnations. Schedule means they are actually like just like okay, if Prime Minister is there, Prime Minister every year he comes to do inspection this time during this time. So that is scheduled visit. But Prime Minister is not bound. If he wants, if he desires, he can come anytime. In the case of America, it is President. If he desires to go to any place, he can go to any. He can change his schedule and he can come visit to any place anytime. So in the same way, Lord is the master of entire universal affairs. So if you want to visit any place, he can just visit without any restrictions. So there are unlimited incarnations like that. Means whenever there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation is one of them, Nityananda Prabhu's incarnation is one among them, like that. So after saying that, what he says is Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Means just like Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa means all these incarnations, Krishnastu Bhagavan, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever there is necessity, he comes and performs his leelas. So Krishna is the source of all incarnation. That is the essence of this chapter. Okay. And he also says about the Virat Rupa, means like the imaginary form, the Vishwarupa of the Lord. Like the way Arjuna saw in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Because if you see, everything in this material universe is happening only by the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we are able to see the Lord's presence in everything, then we will be able to see Krishna's Virat Rupa. So, but it is said that this is actually the imaginary in the sense, it actually like it's not like a, for example, all the other incarnations, these all incarnations, they have specific planet. The Matsyavatara will have his own planet in which he resides, and the devotees pray, worship him in Matsyavatara. In Narsingadev has his own planet. But when it comes to Vishwarup, it is the way of seeing Lord's presence in every aspect of the universe, and it is said to be imaginary. So just for the sake of people who is a neophyte devotee, who wants to see Lord as a great person, who doesn't want to see Lord as a person, for them it is helpful in getting attracted to the Lord in the beginning stages. But it is easy to meditate also in the beginning stages. But as one progress, once become more stable in his sadhana, then one will again have to come back to the personal aspect of the Krishna. Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So when you see the Virat Roop, really we get scared because everything you see, right?
Yes.
But devotees, we like to develop the love of God, right? Prema Bhakti. But when we see the Krishna in the form of like humans, right? So that time we feel like a most loving affection towards Lord. So what is the difference? I mean, like any like if you see the Mahabharata serial or anything, when we saw that Virat Roop, we got scared, like, oh, Lord is powerful, he can do anything, he can kill us, he can do this, that. But when you read Srimad Bhagavatam and also the devotees, then we understand Lord is so merciful, so friendly nature. So
yeah,
come to that.
As I said,
Yeah.
right, Prabhu, that Virat Rupa is for neophytes.
Okay.
Like who cannot conceive the personal aspect of the Lord.
Oh, personal aspect. Okay, thank you.
Like as a person, as a devotee progresses in his spiritual life, he actually then comes to the personal aspect of the Lord. Means like in the form of Paramatma or or Bhagavan. So after that, he says that only fools consider the Lord's spiritual pastimes ordinary. Understanding the Lord needs unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service. Means unless we perform this, ahaitukya pratihata bhakti, means whatever we are doing, we have to do uninterruptedly, and then only we'll progress nicely. See, if you want to achieve anything in life, like it can be any skill or any learning or any goal. There has to be continuous effort in that aspect. In the same way, if one wants to progress in the spiritual life, whatever they are doing, okay, I'm chanting 16 rounds during this time, and I want to reading Bhagavatam this time, I'm attending these classes, or doing the service. That has to be continuous. If it is big or small, we should see that it is continuously performed. So then only that kind of persons will make spiritual progress, rapid progress. And after explaining all these things, he also explains about the literary incarnation of the Lord. Means Lord incarnation as a Srimad Bhagavatam. After Lord's departure, Lord incarnates as Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that's what I was telling, right? Every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is different angas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So And then after explaining this, then Sutta Goswami proceeds to the next instance of next chapter of explaining the advent of Srimad Bhagavatam. How Vyasadeva, after writing all his, like Vyasadeva is the author for all the Vedas and all the Puranas, right? Like he actually, he wrote, he kept everything in literary form. So that's why Vyasadeva is called literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and here, Vyasadeva, after writing Vedas, Upanishads, Vedangas, and all the Puranas, 18 Puranas, but he becomes depressed. He was not very satisfied. And at that point of time, Narada Muni happens to visit Vyasadeva, and then he actually inquires about why, what's happening with him. So then Vyasadeva says about his mental situation, and then Narada Muni says that now you have actually you have the conditioned souls, they are attracted to the sense gratification. Means they always want to enjoy in the material world, and you have given the license to them by like what is there in Vedas, how we can enjoy properly, how to worship these different demigods, so that they will give all the enjoyment that we that is required. But he didn't stress, he also gave the knowledge about the position of the Krishna and how one should worship Krishna for ultimate liberation, but not as much as he kept Krishna on the same level of different demigods. Okay, you want this, you go to this demigod, you want to that, you go to this demigod, and if you want bhakti and mukti, you go to Krishna. And so Vyasadeva wrote Vedas and Upanishads on the same level of different demigods. So, and here that is and which will actually entangle more and more. Actually, the purpose of Vedas is to gradually uplift a person from the conditioned state to the state of self-realization. Means after enjoying the Vedic results for a long time, the conditioned soul will ultimately come to the level of devotional service to Krishna. So after discussing with Narada Muni, Vyasadeva realizes that his mistake, and he start meditating on Narada Muni's instructions and meditates on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says, before while discussing with Narada Muni, Narada Muni says, in my previous lifetime, I was the son of a Sudrani, and but by the association of the Bhakti Vedantas, the saintly people, for some time, after the departure of my mother, I actually took the I actually renounced the worldly things. Even though I was 5 years old, I went to the forest and meditated on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I happened to see the Lord within my heart. So then, after the end of my life, and after the end of my life as a Sudra boy, then I actually attend this body of a Narada Muni. So means like he says that even a person who is not very qualified, who doesn't have any qualification, can achieve the highest perfection just by the process of devotional service. So taking Narada Muni's instruction seriously, later on Vyasadeva actually meditates on the Krishna, and then writing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Sutta Goswami again comes to the context of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, how this like birth of Parikshit, like in order to come to bring the birth of Parikshit Maharaj, he starts with the what happens after the battle of Kurukshetra. When the battle of Kurukshetra was over, Ashwatthama, he actually kills all the sons of Draupadi, and he was actually chastised by Arjuna, and later on he was taken his the money on his forehead, and he was shaved out, and then he was sent away. And here The important thing that you have to take into consideration is like instructions, by different instructions that we give. And then when Krishna was everything was settled and Krishna was about to leave to Dwaraka, then Mother Uttara comes running for the Krishna, saying that some astra is coming to burn away the embryo in my womb. So please protect my child. And then Krishna takes in the form of a thumb, he goes into the womb of Mother Uttara and then he neutralizes the Brahmastra. This Brahmastra was released by Ashwadama only. So, and after protecting Parikshit Maharaj, then Krishna starts leaving to Dwaraka. At that point of time, Kunti Maharani comes, like Kunti Maharani has seen the pleasures and pains of the world. So she actually started praying to the Lord in different ways. And then the prayers of Kunti Maharani are very wonderful. They are she only aspires for bhakti. That is she even went up to the level of, if in order to remember you, if I have to go through all these difficulties, then let those difficult situations comes into my life. She prays that. And then after that, when Kunti Maharani prays, then when Krishna is again starts going, again Yudhishthira Maharaj stops him again, and he says, I'm feeling very guilty about my responsibilities towards the killing of Kurukshetra. For that, Krishna takes Pandavas to Bhishma Dev and gets instruction from him. So all these instances Sutta Goswami is giving is to project the mood of Bhishma Dev, project the mood of Kunti Devi, or present the mood of Pandavas and their loving devotion service towards Krishna. So and how when a great personality and like spiritual master is leaving us, how should be our mood to so those all things we can learn from these instructions. And then after Krishna takes the Pandavas to Bhishma Dev instructs to Yudhishthira Maharaj about different dharmas, and then Bhishma Dev finally, by taking darshan of Krishna, he departs from this material world and goes back to the Parthasarathi Loka, where Krishna is worshipped as Parthasarathi. And then after Yudhishthira Maharaj after Krishna goes back to Dwaraka, Krishna entering Dwaraka is nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam, like how Dwarakavasi celebrate Krishna's and Krishna entering, coming back to them, and how they offer different prayers for Krishna. And then after that, Krishna was after Krishna enters into Dwaraka, it is said that even though Krishna's queens are very beautiful, even the Cupid, their beauty can even bewilder the Cupid, but they are not able to attract Krishna. But they were able to attract Krishna only through their service attitude, devotion service and service attitude. It means whomever we may be, we may be rich, poor, we may be beautiful, ugly, we may be very famous or very insignificant. Anybody, whomever you may be, no material qualification will attract Krishna except the pure loving devotion service and humility. So that is the one more point that we can learn from this section. And after that, Maharaj, birth of Maharaj Parikshit happens, and Yudhishthira Maharaj asks the Brahmanas to read his astrology, and then Brahmanas glorifies what all Parikshit Maharaj will accomplish in his life. And then, but even though they know that Parikshit Maharaj is going to pass away, but they also mention that. But after the glorious things that Parikshit Maharaj can achieve, the death of Parikshit Maharaj is they don't care much about their death. And after that comes how Dhritarashtra, who was still at the Pandavas' home, gets by after hearing Vidura, gets out of the palace and goes into the forest, and then through the process of Ashtanga Yoga, he achieves the impersonal liberation. And but Yudhishthira Maharaj, thinking that my uncle, whom I worship, who was like as is like as if is on the level of my father, he left me for no reason, and he was lamenting about the situation. So then Narada Muni comes to there and then consoles Yudhishthira Maharaj and says, nobody is protecting anybody in this material world. Everybody is under the time factor. So, he says about Yudhishthira, your uncle Dhritarashtra has achieved a spiritual perfection. So don't worry about them. And also he gives a hint that Lord Krishna is going to soon disappear from this material world. So, and but after some time, Arjuna goes to Dwarka to see to get the instruction Lord Krishna on his next step. But at that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj sees different bad omens, like cows crying, fox howling, and dust everywhere, very inauspicious things. And he was thinking thinking of something, contemplating different reasons. Okay, and then Arjuna, who went to Dwaraka, he comes back. He comes back and he says, no, like when Yudhishthira Maharaj sees Arjuna, he was very dejected and disappointed. And Yudhishthira Maharaj inquires about him, what happened, why you are so dejected? And Arjuna sees that Arjuna saw that Lord Krishna disappeared in the from this material world, and he felt that he was not all his power and all his glory also went along with him. So he has nothing to do, and he feels very dejected. And but when he remembers the message of Bhagavad Gita given by Krishna, he becomes consoled. And then Pandavas also decided to leave this material world, and so they actually they coronate Parikshit Maharaj as the emperor, and then everybody, like including all 5 Pandavas, Draupadi and Subhadra, everybody goes towards the north, searching, renouncing this worldly kingdom. And then finally, Yudhishthira Maharaj, even though all the Pandavas goes back to spiritual world in different ways, Yudhishthira Maharaj, being the very saintly king, he actually gives up his body in a Ashtanga Yoga process, like merging different elements into different things, and finally goes back to the Godhead. And after that, that then comes to the how Parikshit Maharaj has ruled. No, Parikshit Maharaj one time he sees some discrepancies in his kingdom, and he wanted to know see to it what's happening in the kingdom. So he went on a tour in his kingdom, and he there once he saw like a person who is like a Sudra. He dressed as a king, and he was actually torturing the cow and torturing the bull. And the cow and bull are tormented by him. And as soon as Parikshit Maharaj sees that, and he actually inquires the suffering conditions with the bull, and then he was about to punish the Kali. But Kali, intelligent what he does, he actually takes the shelter of Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj says, okay, because you took the shelter, it is my dharma to protect you. So he gives 4 places. Like he can stay in the places of meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication. These are the 4 places that Kali can stay. But Kali still begs, no, I want more place. There is no such place in your kingdom. I want more place. Then Maharaj Parikshit gives that you can stay even in the excessive wealth, excessive gold. So in the gold also. Then Parikshit Maharaj that way he punishes and rewards the Kali. So why then says why did Parikshit Maharaj didn't kill the Kali? Now, if you have killed the Kali, they would not have all these problems. But Parikshit Maharaj also being a devotee, he sees some good qualities in Kali. Because in Kali Yuga, just by taking the holy name of Krishna, one can achieve the same spiritual perfection that one used to achieve by meditating for thousands of years in the Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga. So that's why he left to Kali. And then like now Kali has to take effect. So for that, this Lord enacts the pastime of cursing of Kali. Now, one time, what happens after Parikshit Maharaj once goes back to hunt, goes on hunting, and he gets lost in away from his soldiers. So, and then he was wandering in the forest, and he was lost, and he was hungry, he was thirsty, and he finally sees sees the hermitage of Samik Rishi. He entered into that ashram, and he expects some warm welcome and a little bit of refreshment from the Samik Rishi. But Samik Rishi was in deep meditation, and he didn't respond to the request of Parikshit Maharaj. So what does Parikshit Maharaj do? He wanted to insult Parikshit Maharaj because he is actually driven by the Daivi, Krishna's potency. So he actually takes a dead snake and puts on the shoulder of Samik Rishi. And Samik Rishi was very much oblivious to it. I don't, doesn't have any external sense. But some boy sees this what has happened to Samik Rishi and goes to Sringi, who was the very powerful Brahmana boy, who is the son of Samik Rishi, and tells him that a king came to our ashram and has insulted, has did this with your father. Then this boy, out of immaturity, he curses king, saying that let this king be in 7 days. Let this king meet the death by the hands of Takshaka, the snake god. And then this, after cursing this king, Sringi goes to his father, and he immediately he also develops the feeling that I have made a mistake, and he starts crying. And Samik Rishi hears this, what has happened from Samik Rishi, Sringi, and then actually he disapproves the act of Sringi. He says Parikshit Maharaj was a great devotee and he was a protector of the dharma. You have unnecessarily cursed the Parikshit Maharaj for such a small insignificant thing. So he Samik Rishi then he sends a message to Parikshit Maharaj. Meanwhile, Parikshit Maharaj on his way back to home, he was contemplating, why did I do that act? That sage was really in deep meditation. I should not have did that. So he was thinking that let all my things go, but I should be properly punished so that I don't do this kind of mistakes again. So when this news of the curse that saying that you only have life of 7 days, then Parikshit Maharaj took it as an opportunity. I was reading today morning that Radhanath Maharaj says the wiseness depends on how to turn the miseries into opportunities, how to difficult situations into opportunities. So here, Parikshit Maharaj has that situation. He is going to die in 7 days, but he took it as an opportunity to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is he actually renounces his kingly opulences and goes to the forest, and he does prayopavesh, means fast until death, in deep meditating upon the Supreme Lord. So at that point of time, when this news was sages from different parts of the universe, they come to see Parikshit Maharaj, and Shukadev Goswami also arrives there, and Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj was humbly receiving all the great sages that are arriving there. And when he saw Shukadev Goswami, all the sages paid respect to Shukadev Goswami, and Parikshit Maharaj finally started inquiring from Shukadev Goswami. And all the sages, even including Vyasadeva, Narada, all the sages started listening from Shukadev Goswami. And Shukadev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj asked different questions to Shukadev Goswami, which will be discussed in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is the end of the first canto overview of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody have any questions or anything to say? We can discuss. I hope you're able to follow, right?
Babu very nicely summarized the first canto. Amazing. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody have any questions or anything to say?
Prabhu, so
Thank you,
what is the
Babuji.
first canto represent? Is there like different topics are there, right? 10. The entire Bhagavatam is a different topics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So first canto represent which topic?
Atra sarga visargasya sthanam posnamotaya anantareshanakata. So it doesn't like it is not like what canto what represents what. 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam are the creation, maintenance, destruction, atra sarga visargasya sthanam posnamotaya manvantareshanakata nirodha mukti rashraya. Means sarga means primary creation, secondary creation, visarga means secondary creation. Atra sarga visarga sthana means the allocation of different living entities, like devata should live in the heavenly planets, like that. Some poshana means how different living entities are nourished. Utaya means what is the motive. Manvantareshana kata means the story of manvantras. Nirodha means the endeavor to perfection of human life, and mukti means trying to achieve the liberation. Ashraya means what is the ultimate shelter. These are the 10 topics that are discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, but it doesn't everything is discussed everywhere,
Okay.
because everything in Srimad Bhagavatam is the represent different parts and parcels of Krishna. Means like first and second canto represents the lotus feet of Krishna. Like I see in the group photo, I kept that photo only, so you can see, watch that photo. But these 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam are represented in different cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody have any more questions? Somebody was asking question. Shailamata, you had any question?
No, Prabhuji. I really enjoyed the overview.
Okay, we'll end it here. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Purva
Thank you,
Srila.
Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Babuji.
Hare
Stand up,
Please
stand.
share the recording of the class, please.
Yes, Mata, I'll send it now.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavad
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Dandavad.
Dhanavad.